Hi, it's Wani again, and tonight's story involves a buddy of mine named Booger, and he does Mortal Kombat with the Raccoon. The end of this is it's just got a great ending. But anyway, if you enjoy adventure or humor done in story form, this is the right place. I tell stories that have happened to me, and I would love to hear stories that have happened to you. Please email me your stories at cdwanny@yahoo.com, and I'll make sure and get your stories up here. And I'll either mention you by name, not mention you by name, however you wish. If you want to be anonymous, that's fine too. Just let me know how you want to go about it, and I'll tell your stories too. But anyway, so if you enjoy this channel, be sure and hit the subscribe button. If you enjoy the stories and it amuses you, give that like button a little tickle. If you want to know when I got a new story coming out, be sure and click on that bell. But now, let's get on with our story. All right, when you got a buddy named Booger, that deserves some kind of explanation. This happens like a couple of my other stories back when I was in the Air Force in Mississippi. And me and all my buddies, we were air traffic controllers there. And the way you signed off on the radio when you're talking to other control facilities is, in theory, the way it's supposed to work is you sign off phonetically with the, let me see, it's the first and last letter of your last name. My last name being Wanamaker, so it would have been WR was what everybody knew me as back then. But I'd sign off Whiskey Romeo. Booger's last name started with a B and ended with an E, and so he was Bravo Echo. And I thought it would be funny, so I just started making fun of his initials, and I just started calling him Booger Eater. And I thought it was funny. Other people chuckled, and of course, Booger Eater just got shortened to Booger. It has nothing to do about the guy's habits or anything else. It's just something that I thought was funny, something you'd call your buddies, you know. And so, hey, Booger, how you doing? At first, he got a little bit irritated with it, but we had, I remember this lady that was also a controller with us. And she was a church-going lady, extremely religious. I think the worst thing that she ever said was darn. That's as far as she got, as close as she got to profanity. And I remember one day she walked in the room and she walked out and she was talking to Booger. And she goes, "All right, well, bye-bye, Booger." And she left the room. And as soon as she called him Booger, I knew that the name had stuck. If she thought it was okay to call him Booger, well, everybody else at that point, it was like giving the green light. So Booger became Booger. He was our friend named Phil, and then now he's Booger, and forever will be known as Booger. But anyway, so that's the story of how Booger got his name. Anyway, me and Russell and Booger, we were going out one night, and the whole idea of the adventure this time, we were going to go out frog gigging. And Booger was from Louisiana, Russell was from Arkansas, and I, of course, was from Washington State. And so Booger took it upon himself every time that he possibly could to refer to me as damn Yankee, stupid Yankee, ignorant Yankee, something Yankee. And I mean, Washington, it wasn't really had any involvement in the Civil War, so I just thought it was just Booger being Booger. So anyway, I was some derogatory term attached to the word Yankee. But we were going out frog gigging that night, and I was the first to admit I'd never been frog gigging. I don't know what we're doing. I don't know. And they just kind of laughed at me and said, "You think we're really going frog gigging?" And I said, "Well, that's what I told my wife we were going." "Oh, hell, that's just what we tell the women folks to go out and drink beer all night out in the woods and in the swamp." And it's like, okay. So we were driving around, you know, kind of every once in a while we'd stop at a pond or something. We'd shine flashlights in there. We actually had frog gigs with us in case we should wander across some poor hapless frog. We did not end up gigging any frogs that night, but we ended up parking out in the woods. And where we parked, it was kind of the end of the road. There was a paved parking area there, and there were no other cars there. Then off to our side over here was a swamp, and it was, I don't know where the water came from. I honest to God don't know. There was a river close by, but I don't know if it was a lake. I don't know if it was a pond. I don't know if it was just a backed up chunk of water, but I'd been there during the day. I'd been out there squirrel hunting and rabbit hunting, and I had seen that water, and it just looked like swampy, nasty water. And if you'd been dragging your carcass, through the desert, for 20 days without a drink of water and came across this water, you would not be drinking it. I mean, it just looked nasty. But I'll get to that point in a minute. So we've been just driving around kind of looking for frogs, more so just drinking beer all night. And Booger, I don't know, he had this thing in him, or he just, usually when it came to having too much drink, all of a sudden, he'd want to wrestle. And somebody had, I don't know how to put it, I don't know what YouTube's rules are, so I'll say somebody had urinated on the pavement. They took a leak. But anyway, Russell takes off his shirt and he goes, "Let's wrestle." And he goes after Russell. And Russell's drinking a beer, don't know what's coming. All of a sudden, bam! He gets off hit to the side by Booger. And Booger's got him in a hold, knocks him to the ground. And Russell hits the ground, and he's in this push-up position. And there's this puddle of urine down there in the parking lot. And I'm standing there drinking my beer, watching this whole fiasco going on. And I don't know. You don't do this to a friend, but I did it anyway. I just kind of reached over with my leg and kicked out Russell's arm, and both him and Booger down into this piss, and they're rolling around in it. And Russell's, "God, what did you do that for?" And I don't know, I just thought it was funny. But anyway, they wrestled around, ended up having to hang their shirts off because they just smelled like urine. And that was kind of the way the night was going, just three complete idiots out there doing whatever we're doing. But to go frog gigging, one of the pieces of equipment that we all had was these high-powered flashlights that we could shine around. And off in this aforementioned, I'm just going to call it a swamp for the sake of calling it something. Out in the middle of the swamp was this little hummock or an island. And it was probably about 30 yards out to this hummock. And it was kind of in the center of everything, so it was just totally surrounded by water, a good distance of water all the way around it. We stopped, and we're just screwing around, we're shining our flashlights out there. And down at the bottom of this hummock, we can see this raccoon. And this raccoon scoots up in the tree. And, I pointed out, not thinking anything of it, I said, "Hey man, there's a raccoon." And of course, Booger has to pick on the ignorant Yankee again. He goes, "Hey, ignorant Yankee, you don't know how we get coons out of trees down here all the time. I'm going to show you how it's done." I'll mention again, alcohol played a part in tonight's festivities. So Booger starts peeling off his clothes, and he gets down to, I don't know what he was wearing, boxers or tighty-whities. But by the time he got down to it, that's all he was wearing. And he takes off swimming out in this water to get to the tree with this raccoon now that's up in this tree. And Booger gets out there, we can see him, we got the flashlights on him. These are high-powered flashlights. From where we were, we could have lit up the surface of the moon with these things. They were powerful, so we could see everything that's going on. And I go, "Russell, Booger keeps referring to me as an ignorant Yankee, but we got raccoons up in the Northwest too. They're pretty common. And usually anybody tangles with them, it's about 400 stitches worth when all is said and done." And Russell just looks at me and he grins and he goes, "Yeah, this is going to be funny." Okay, so Booger's climbing up this tree and we're spotlighting him, and it's kind of like a cedar tree. And so we can't really see what's going on up there. Every once in a while we can see raccoon eyes pointing back at us. and limbs as Booger's climbing up this tree, and Booger's out there. He's just yelling and giving us play-by-play. I think I see him. Okay, tell me where he is. I go, Booger is up there and about 20 feet above you off to your left. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, I knew I see him. So Booger starts scrambling up this tree, and Russell goes, man, here it comes, here it comes. And he looks at me all thoughtful, and he goes, hey man, do you think we should just call 911 now? Or do you think it'd be okay if we threw him in the back of the truck and just brought him to the hospital ourselves? This is the kind of guys we are. Someone's about to get seriously injured, but Russell's like, well, he done it of his own accord. I don't think you or I could have stopped him once he set his head to it, so it's just best to let things go and let nature take its course, and we'll see how this pans out in the end. So Booger's still screaming at us. All right, I almost got him. Okay, I'm going to knock him out of the tree. I don't know what he was going to do with this raccoon once he got his hands on it. I don't know. He didn't say he was going to bring it back. He didn't say he was going to battle it to the death or anything else. He just went out there with like Rambo, knife in his teeth, swimming out there to do Mortal Kombat with this raccoon. But anyway, he gets up there to the raccoon, and we can hear the raccoon is chittering. And Booger's like giving us more colorful commentary. All right, I almost got him. All right, I'm going to reach around, grab him by the scruff of the neck. And he's yelling this, out in the woods. It would have been nice and peaceful. But we got Booger just screaming at us. And all of a sudden, the tree must have been, it wasn't a real big tree. It was probably about, 40 feet tall. It wasn't a mature 100-footer or anything like that, but all of a sudden the top of the tree starts whooping back and forth, man, like it's in a tornado. And all of a sudden we see this raccoon, boom, jettisons out of one side, hits the water and swims away. When the tree comes back, Booger jettisons out the other side. He hits water and he's swimming back. And the whole time he's been up in this tree, I swear it's probably... the whole battle seemed like it was about 10 minutes, but in reality it was probably only about 20 seconds. And we could actually see what was going on. We could just hear the screaming and the chittering. And Booger hit the water, and we're like, got flashlights out there. Did you come to the surface yet? Oh man, we're going to have to drag for the body? We don't know. It's just stupidity at its finest. And so finally Booger breaks water, and he comes swimming back. He's breaststroking. He comes back and gets out of the water. And like I said, man, this water is nothing you want to drink out of. He stands up, and he has got the oddest combination you've ever seen in your life. There's this combination of green slime and blood. It's just all over his body. He never did get one stitch out of the thing, but he's just standing there dripping green slime and blood. And we're like, so Booger, how'd it go? Where's a raccoon? You said you was going to bring me a raccoon. This ignorant Yankee, I ain't never seen a raccoon up close. Well, I almost had him, but he got away. Next time we find one, he's already talking about next time. I said, Booger, I'm just kidding you, man. There ain't going to be no next time. God damn it, are you okay? You look like you're bleeding pretty bad. Like, there. Your whole body is just a mess, man. He's like, oh, nothing, little beer will take care of. Some Booger crack beer, and he starts washing himself off with beer. I mean, as nasty as that sounds, it had to be a heck of a lot cleaner than that nasty-ass swamp water he was in. On the upside, and I don't know how, but Booger never got an infection from this. He never went to the hospital. He just washed off with beer, hung around, drunk beer in his underwear, and bled for a while. And once he dried off enough, he put his clothes on, and we went home. That's pretty much a story of Booger doing Mortal Kombat with a raccoon up in a tree out in the swamps in Mississippi. I tell you what, man, I had such a great time in Mississippi, and I got stories to tell. But I want to hear your stories too, so email them to me at CDWanny@yahoo.com. Like, subscribe, and hit that bell. All right, you guys, we'll see you next time. Bye.